Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, The Secret Chef. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my cheesecake. This is the ultimate cheesecake. You're going to fall in love with it. It is so moist, so fluffy, so airy. And we're going to top it off with the whipped cream that I showed you how to make in my last video. So go back and watch that video to learn how to make the whipped cream. And look at this amazing fluffy goodness. So stay tuned, watch the video, and learn how to make this cheesecake at home. Alright guys, so let's begin making our cheesecake. So for our cheesecake, what we're going to need is half a cup of heavy whipping cream, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1.5 cup of granulated sugar, 8 ounces of sour cream, 5 eggs and 2 yolks, 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter, strawberry preserve. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. You don't have to. This is totally optional. I'm going to use 4 packages of Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm getting the double one that has 2 inside. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So for our crust, I kind of already started. I put the graham crackers, I blended them in. I had about 16 of them. So I'm going to put a little bit of Oreos, 5 to 6 Oreos. This is optional too in here. And I'm going to put our butter. And I'm going to blend this up. So this is what the crust mixture looks like. So the test to do is to push it down on a spoon. And if it holds its shape, that means it's ready to go. So we're going to start putting it in our pan that we're going to bake it in. So this is the perfect time to turn your oven on at 350 degrees. We're going to put the pie crust in there for just 10 minutes. So I have the graham cracker crust in here. Guys, you guys don't have to use Oreos. It just gives it a little cake. A lot of people use different types of nuts in here, but nobody in my family really is a fan of nuts. So that's why I put the Oreos. You could put pecans, roasted pecans, any kind of nuts if you like, to walnuts. They taste really good, but my family is a chocolate lover, so I decided to just put a little bit of Oreos. So what you're going to do, I got a plain glass with a flat bottom. There's no design on it, just a simple cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pushing my crust to the edges. And the middle doesn't really matter till the end. What we're going to do is get as much up on the walls. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to start pushing them up and pressing it in so it starts holding its shape. And if you have some bottom exposed, don't worry about it. We'll fix that in a minute. So just press, press, press. And as you're doing it, you use your thumb to push down so the walls stay strong. It's going to be a pretty big size cheesecake. And I don't like my crust all the way to the top of the cake, so I'm going to leave it 2 inches below the rim. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I'm going to start cleaning it up a little, start pushing it down with my thumb and making even all the way across. And you don't have to bake this. You could put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours and let it set. But I like baking it because I like to just get it done all at once. I don't want to wait. Okay, so our crust is ready. It's going to go in the oven, 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. Don't bake it longer than 10 minutes because then it will burn and it will not taste right. So in a large mixing bowl, I have my 4 packages of cream cheese. They're 8 ounces each. So they were room temperature, so I'm going to start mixing them, blending them in. In the beginning, it's a little hard, but as you start doing it, it gets easier and easier. And make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature, because that's what's going to give it that fluffiness. So mix for about like 2 minutes. Break it up. Okay, now I'm going to add my sugar to it. 1.5 cups of sugar. You could put less sugar if you want, if you don't want it as sweet. And continue mixing. Changing of the cream cheese. You could do this in a stand mixer as well. If you don't want to use a hand mixer. See how it's becoming a little bit more whipped. And in the middle, make sure you stop and you scrape your bowl down. Make sure you get all those sides because the sides don't mix that well. Get it all in the center. And make sure you scrape the bottom of your bowl. Make sure everything gets incorporated well. And then just continue. And as you're mixing, you can go ahead and put your vanilla extract. So now I'm going to stop and I'm going to start adding in my heavy whipping cream. I have 1/2 cup. Put that in. And do it on slow first. And speed it up. Okay guys, so now I'm going to add my 8 ounces of sour cream. If you don't have sour cream, you could substitute it for a whole milk yogurt. Make sure it's whole milk yogurt. It has the same consistency as this, so we'll do the same thing. And mix again. And the tardiness of this sour cream will break up the tanginess of the cheese. So it helps it balance. So mix. And at this point, when it's all incorporated really well, everything is coming together, we're going to start adding our eggs. One in at a time. sure your eggs are room temperature as well. There goes the last two. I'm going to stop for a second, scrape down my bowl one more time. This step is really important if you don't want lumps and if you don't want inconsistent batter. Make sure you stop in the middle and scrape down your bowl. And get it from the bottom as well. Sometimes it doesn't reach all the way to the bottom. And then now would be the good time to start putting in your flour. I have about 3 tablespoons of flour. I'll put in a little bit at a time. Make sure you sift it so you don't put any lumps in there. I'm not going to do it all at once. I'll do like 1 tablespoon at a time. And just slowly add your flour. The flour is going to help it hold its shape. And that was for the flour. And stop again and clean off your bowl. The consistency is coming out really good. It's going to be a really fluffy cheesecake. Mix it till you see no more lumps. So guys, I added 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in here, and that what keeps it moist from the inside and a little crispy on the outside. I love cheesecake. I'm originally from New York, and in the city there was this lady that used to make cheesecakes in her basement, and she used to sell them, and they were the best cheesecake. And every time we go visit back in New York, I take a little chest freezer just with me just for that cake to bring back. And when I started making this, I tweaked the recipe a lot over the years, but this is as close to her cheesecake as I could get, and it's really melt in your mouth, fluffy, not dense, not too heavy cheesecake. So please do try this recipe, and if you like it, please let me know in the comments below, and let me know how it turns out. So let's continue mixing till our cornstarch gets mixed all well. Okay guys, so our mixture seems to be mixed in well. It doesn't look lumpy. I'm just gonna get the edges cleaned off one more time. Okay, so our pie crust is ready. I took it out of the oven. So I'm gonna start pouring this in there. Alright guys, so our pie crust is out of the oven. So I'm gonna start putting my mixture in here. So our cheesecake is in the pan. So what I'm gonna do now is, remember I was telling you about the strawberry preserve. This is totally optional. I like to give the cheesecake a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to put a little bit of it on the top and just mix it in just gently. It kind of gives it a little bit more flavor, and the color is amazing. Just like that. And I'm going to put a pan underneath this pan so it's easier for me to take it in and out of the oven. So we're going to put it in the oven in the beginning for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And then I'm going to lower the temperature to 200 degrees and leave it in there for an hour. So 15 minutes at 350 degrees and an hour at 200 degrees. Okay guys, so our cheesecake is done. It's been chilling in the oven. So once you're done putting it, like it's been cooking for an hour at 200 degrees, leave it in the oven for another hour, let it cool down before you take it out. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and undo this. It's still a little warm. And ready. There you go, our cheesecake is done. I'm gonna cut a little slice and show you guys what it looks like on the inside. So here we go. It's still a little warm. I should have left it a little bit longer to cool off. But it's crispy on the outside and really soft and fluffy on the inside. So see how fluffy it is on the inside? It's fully cooked. It's gonna be melt in your mouth. Delicious. Guys, if you guys try this recipe, if you guys like this recipe so far, please subscribe to my channel. Leave comments below in the comment section and let me know how it turned out. Okay guys, these are my kids digging in to the cheesecake. Look how fluffy it is. You see that? So please follow this recipe and like the video and try this cheesecake at home. I am 100% sure you guys gonna love this recipe. You're gonna make it over and over again.